We're here. Welcome everyone to our most recent and current update and episode of Adventures in Business Live. Excuse me. Mandy, how are we doing today?
Amani, are you okay? I feel like you just choked on an apple or something.
Yeah.
Do we need
Yes.
to do that virtual Heimlich? Are you all right?
No, I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm gonna drink
Okay.
some water and I'm gonna keep it moving.
Amani, just like your sweatshirt says, you are enough.
You love the sweatshirt. I love the sweatshirt.
I I love the sweatshirt too. Yeah, I'm doing great. I had a renovation meeting this morning. We walked through our handles and poles and knobs. Seems
Okay.
like it should go well. I'll let you know next week if everything's upside down or topsy turvy or if they did it the right way.
Okay.
And yeah, things are coming along. I'm hoping to move out. I'm hoping to move back into our house by middle of December, before middle of December.
So we're less than 2 months out. So we're doing well. Mandy's
I
ready.
hope I hope we're less. I hope we are 4 weeks out.
Yes. Mandy is
Yes.
ready. Yes, this is a fact.
We're ready. We're ready. And this weekend we bought a sofa sleeper because we had to replace the bed in the spare bedroom, and we bought a new dining room table. And oh, by the way, I know you use ChatGPT and you use Claude or whatever AI. Do you ever use it for images or do you just use it for information?
Mostly for information. Images haven't worked out too well for me yet.
Okay, I've been using it for images for this renovation. It is phenomenal. So we took a picture of the kitchen as it is right now, renovated. Then we took a picture of a dining room table from one company that we liked and dining room chairs from another company we liked. And we asked them to put all three together and show us what this would look like in our dining room. Voila. It helped us make a decision like faster
Okay.
than before. Same with our fireplace. When we cut the sides off the fireplace, we didn't know, should we paint it? Should we facade it? Should we do this? And like plugged it all into ChatGPT. Voila. So if you aren't using AI for image creation to see how something might work, consider doing that because not just for renovation, but like especially in like events. Like
Yeah.
if you want to see how something would work in a room or if you want to see how something may end up working out, I don't know, just give it a shot. It was very easy to use and very fast.
All right. I like it. Keep sharing with
Yeah.
us. We'll have to see those
Yeah.
before and after photos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. What about you? How are you caught up from your Colombia trip? You caught up from IMAX? Like, what's happening with your body chemistry right now?
yes. I'm getting caught up. This weekend was a little busy, so I moderated a panel at the Las Vegas Book Festival. So that's what I did
Nice.
during the day on Saturday.
Cool.
And then I DJ'd at the lounge on Saturday night. And then yesterday, pretty much just rested, watched a little football. So I think I'm caught up now. Just still got to catch up on the grading, though. That's the challenge because it's midterm.
Mm.
I got like 3 different exams to grade. So hopefully the next week I can get that done, get caught up, and then we'll be on the back half of the semester by then.
All right. Yeah, you're getting there. How is your football team doing? I've bowed out. I haven't even watched the Browns in like three
My team
weeks.
is struggling this year. They're struggling, lots of injuries. They're struggling, so it's hard to duplicate the success we had last year. So
Mm.
right now they're in a little bit of a slump. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, you'll get draft picks. I'll get draft picks because our teams suck, right?
We all get draft
Okay.
picks.
We
Tell
all get
us
draft picks.
about our very unique and interesting guests that we have this week.
Oh, I've been wanting to have this guest on our podcast since I met her a couple years ago at a conference, a women's conference. We sat next to each other. It was just like happenstance. And I learned a little bit about her business and her. And I don't know if she learned anything about me or my business, but like, and then I bumped into her at things along the way. And I think you and I ran into her at MPI at WeCon earlier this year at the Sheraton San Diego. And I was like, we have to have you on the podcast. So
Oh,
we have an entrepreneur, a derby doll, a mom, a crafter, the founder of Ringers Roller Rink, and a prominent member of the global skate community. It is an honor to have Nili the Ringer Goldfarb on the show today.
all right. Round of applause here. Coming to the stage.
Hi. Thank you
Hi.
so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited.
We're happy to have you here. We're gonna let Mandy kind of start us off because she's the one. How do we? I'm not sure if I've met Neely at WeCon. She was there.
She was there. Yeah. And
Oh,
remember, they had, I don't know about you, Amani, but I feel like at every conference lately, there's been like roller skaters everywhere as entertainment. And there were roller skaters there, and everybody thought they were a part of Neely's
oh, that's
group,
right. Yes,
but
at the
they weren't.
reception.
But
They
she didn't,
weren't.
not, I mean, you don't ask, you don't tell. Like she's just like, sure, thank you. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember. That was at the opening reception, like the first
Yes.
night, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But what I want to start with, Neely, because you've got such a background, I just want to go through the timeline. So you went from Derby doll to general manager of a rink to a rink owner. So I want to go through like the three different segments of like when to when and why, and then I'll probably have a couple follow-up questions. So like let's talk about, for I know what derby doll is. Like, what is a derby doll? Let's start there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in my 20s, I stumbled across a reality TV show that was called Roller Girls about a bunch of women in Texas who were bringing back this revival of old school roller derby into the modern era. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then,
Mhm.
like a month or two later, I see an ad on Craigslist that's like, hey, any ladies out there that like soccer is not for you, you don't want to play hockey, but you want to get rough and tumble, this is the fit. I was like, what is this? And I showed up at a roller derby practice, and it was like the coolest freaking thing I had ever seen. It was a bunch of badass chicks, and I totally wanted in. And I was like 25 years old at the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
I worked from home back when people weren't really working from home back then. And so had kind of an isolated life where my only activity was happy hour. I
Hmm.
needed something like a connection to other people and more of a spark. And so I just like flung myself full board into roller derby. I just thought it was super cool. And there was this whole social aspect that went with it. We would go out for drinks after, and it just became a really tight knit community really fast.
Yeah.
And I got opportunities to eventually travel all over the world to play and to coach. Super, super fun. Met so many people and just got a total different perspective on the world. So it was never meant to be my career. I just kind of stumbled into playing more and more and doing less and less of some of the other things I was doing.
Yeah.
And then the founder of the program was ready to move on, and they wanted someone to take over as the GM of our program. And so that was kind of my first foray into the management of things. And then next thing you know, there were multiple other programs in town that needed somewhere to go. And we had a full-time facility. So we started bringing more and more folks in under that umbrella and kind of making sure that everyone that played this super unique sport that doesn't have a lot of facilities all had somewhere to play and a group of people to belong to. And it just kind of grew from there. Our first facility, eventually it was time to move on, and I built out the place we're in now from dirt. So
Yeah.
that was my first development project.
I love that. So I want to go, I have so many transition questions for you. So I want to go from transition for being a derby doll. So for those that don't know, derby doll, this is roller skates, this is pads, this is like shoving, pushing, defense strategy, athletes at their highest level, skating in a circle. Am I missing anything here? Because I know there's so much more to it, but like that's what I see, and I have such respect for these athletes. But tell me if I'm missing a better way to
Yeah,
describe
it's a
this.
full contact sport on
Yeah.
quad roller skates. Two teams are playing against each other. It's made up of a series of jams. So a jam is like a amount of time of play. So on bank track roller derby, it's 1 minute of play. Then the players come down, the next group goes out. You can kind of think about it like, football downs, like segments of the game,
Mhm.
and played over the course of an hour. There's a lot of rules about the contact, just like football or hockey, right? You can't just like grab someone in the head. There's
Mhm.
certain parts of the body you hit with to move people around, but you get absolutely flung and you fling other people to make room for your point scorer called the
Mhm.
jammer. So each team has someone out there aggressively scoring points for their team. There's no
Man,
ball in this sport. The people are kind of the ball.
the people are the balls, right? Yeah, I love this. Okay, so transition. So you go from this like highly exciting sport. You are playing the sport to being the general manager. Did your play time decrease because now you're managing the business of it? And how was that transition for you from going from being, the athlete to being the leader of the group?
So it happens slowly over time.
Okay.
Almost all these people have full-time jobs. So I
Yeah.
just had my own full-time job out of it. And so in the beginning, it wasn't a big deal. I was able to wear all the hats. But eventually, when you're throwing huge events, I mean, you guys know you're in events. Somebody
Yeah.
has to be throwing these huge events. Like the buck has to stop with somebody. So you can't be like playing in the party that you're hosting. And
Yeah.
so I eventually kind of stepped back from it. I retired and unretired once or twice. And then when I opened this facility was when I really stopped playing, because this facility was so much time, so much money. It was such a huge endeavor that it needed all of my attention. Not to mention, I've been playing contact sports for like 20 years, so I don't need any more like hard knocks anymore. So I still skate like crazy. I do all different styles of skating, but not full contact roller derby anymore.
Yeah, you're just kinder, gentler to your body, as we're all learning to do, right? We're all learning to do this. Okay, so you go from the roller derby principles to opening the Ringer, right? You open Ringer's roller rink, which is more for, the Girl Scout troop, or for those of us that want to have a 50th birthday party and this kind of thing. So explain what Ringer's roller rink is now.
Okay, well, we missed a step. So
Okay.
we were in a downtown facility in an area that was getting redeveloped. We called it the dollhouse. It was an old warehouse. And
Okay.
so we had to move on from that place, and we
Okay.
went looking for warehouses. I went
Okay.
looking all over San Diego, and I needed to find something that we could zone for public assembly, that we could have like at least 500 people to show up at the games. And anything that was even like remotely viable, we're going up against breweries, cannabis, everybody else that wants a 30,000 square foot warehouse. So there just like was no viable option for almost
Yeah.
any amount of money, let alone the very small amount of money I had to make happen. So I
Yeah.
found this property. It's 2 acres. It was 4 total lots, and it's actually only like 5 minutes door to door from where our old warehouse was, because we were on the outskirts of downtown. So this is just east on the 94. And
Mhm.
we were renting outdoor time all over the city. And so it occurred to me, if I cannot afford a warehouse, then why don't I build out an outdoor space much better than all these places we keep renting, that could be a permanent installation that we can train, have our events, and once or twice a month throw big roller skate parties for the community. But it
Wow.
wasn't originally built to be a roller rink. It was originally built to house the roller derby leagues that I was part of and that I managed. So that's how it started. That's why it looks the way it does. It actually has 2 different surfaces on it. It's broken up in a particular way. There's a few big sets of bleachers. That's from the roller derby games that we played. Now here's the pinch. I got the property in 2018. It took over a year to get the permitting on it. Built it out in 2019. Project was finished March 6th of 2020.
Oh my
So we
God.
didn't even, I didn't know. Nobody
Yeah.
knew
Nobody knew.
anything. At the grand opening, there was just starting to be whispers of stuff that was happening in Seattle. Like people were still hugging, but we knew like something was starting to happen. And then that place was not open for 1 week, from like the big ribbon scissors situation to complete shutdown, crying, drinking lots of chocolate. Like, what am I going to do? I've spent a fortune building this thing out, and like everything is over. And so that is how the transition started. It actually never got to be like the roller derby palace in all of its glory, because it was open for 1 week as that. And
Yeah.
then the pandemic kind of decimated our leagues, because we didn't come back right away. I mean, it took a year or more before roller derby was playing again. And once you get used to not training every day, not traveling all the time, being at home for dinner and all that, it was hard to make space in your life. I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
Yeah.
Once you had all that personal time, people didn't want to give it up. And so it was very hard to get people to come back. It was very hard to have them be like committed as competitive sports members. And so it became kind of obvious to me from a business standpoint that we had to move more and more towards groups, parties, and public skating, which was not aligned with my original vision. And it took a lot of self-searching and reflection to know that that's what had to happen for anything to stay alive.
Yeah, but how smart of you to pirouette in that way, and probably a little bit of a heartbreak of like, this isn't what I intended it, but this is what the universe is delivering me. And like, to be open to accepting that, I think that's really brave. I mean, and it's outdoor. It's an outdoor rink, right?
It's a 2-acre outdoor facility. And so part
Yeah.
of how that rinkness started was, outdoor open before everything else. And so once people started feeling safe, kind of having a little distance, being outside with other people, we would start I was like, everyone's learning to roller skate in their kitchens right now. I know how to teach people to roller skate, and I have a huge outdoor facility. I hired a couple local roller skaters to work with us, and we would have classes of 10 people at a time. Like in that 2-acre place, there was 10 people out there. Just they would be on microphones. Everyone would have a huge amount of food. And then eventually we would let 20 people in as people became more comfortable. And then DJs started coming to me and saying, hey, I heard you have people skating. None of us have any gigs. You want to have a DJ out there one night? And then somebody saw that I hired a DJ. And so then another, and so every night of the week, we'd have a different style of DJ because no one was at parties, no one was at the clubs. We had all the coolest DJs. We'd have like a Latin night and a pride night and a hip hop night from all these different people. And for a lot of people, they told us during that time, like, you saved me. I was home alone in a bad place, and I got somewhere where I was supposed to be, where there were people, and I could feel like I was being safe and social and physical. And so like that core group of people, there's a lot of them we still see every day now that are like the heart of what that pivot and the new Rink became.
Wow. What a story.
Okay. Great story. We want to hear more stories, but I want to hear the story about where does the nickname The Ringer come from?
Well, so in roller derby, everyone uses nicknames. Like no one uses their real name. And so, you're trying to think of like a name that describes you. And so the full name was Isabel Ringer, like ring your bell. She is Isabel Ringer. But also a ringer is a person you throw in at the end of the game to like clinch it for you. Like, they're a shoo-in and this thing's going to be done. So it felt like an appropriate name. It felt tough. And so I was 25 when I picked that name. And so, had I have known 20 years later, I don't know if I still would have picked it, but it was called Derby United, the name of the roller derby program. And then when it was time to name it a roller rink, everyone was already saying, well, that skating spot, Ringer's skating spot, Ringer's Rink. So we might as well call it Ringer's Rink.
Got it. Now, you went to Northeastern in Boston. How did you find your way out to San Diego?
So, I was actually born abroad, and then I was raised in New England. I lived really rural a lot of my young life. So I lived in rural New Hampshire and Maine, and then eventually I graduated from Portland High School. So as urban as it gets for Maine, and had some ties in Boston, and it's not too far from home. So I went to school there, and Northeastern was known for a co-op program. Back before everyone did internships all the time. I mean, it's normal now, but in 2000, it wasn't normal. It wasn't every school. And Northeastern did this thing where you'd go to school for 6 months and then you'd work in your field for 6 months, and you do that back and forth. So you never had your summer off, but you were just working a job in something that interested you. And we had places to live in Boston, so most of us did ours in Boston. But I knew for the last 6 months I wanted to travel somewhere and go to a city I hadn't been before. I knew I wasn't going to stay in New England. I knew I had to move on. And so let's just go try somewhere. And I had heard so many awesome things about San Diego. I had never been. I really knew nothing about it except for anyone that said San Diego was like, San Diego? Oh my God, I love that place. There was like so much positivity around it. So I went on Craigslist and I found someone looking for a roommate to take a room. Like little did I know when I showed up, I just sent them like a $500 check in the mail sight unseen, because we barely, like the internet was like very young. So there wasn't like photos of where it was. And I take a cab from the airport and I get there and it's this like little house, like on the bay, on Mission Bay. I had no idea. It was like 2 steps to the bay and like 15 steps to the beach. And every night everyone would sit on their patio and drink beers at sunset and all this barbecue. And I'm like, 22 years old. And I'm like, this is incredible. Like people are living like this. This is not how people in Boston live. This is not the attitude there. This is so cool. I love this. This is perfect for me. I'm a black sheep back there. Here, I'm almost uptight here. This is great. This is a perfect fit. So I finished my co-op. I found a few jobs in my field working part-time out here. Back then I was in video production. And I went back and finished my last semester. I didn't even stay for graduation. I packed up my car because I finished one semester early and came back. I had a friend that was living in PB that needed a roommate. So I lived in Mission Beach, PB, OB. I was soaking in San Diego so deeply.
Yeah. Now, why do you consider yourself a black sheep when you look back at like your time in Boston?
if people on the East Coast are like really like kind of straightforward, a little bit more, their delivery is not always as sweet. It's not like covered in candy and positivity, right? It's considered weird to have long pink hair back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
My family would always be like, "You're never gonna get a real job." And what I didn't say out loud was like, "I don't even want a real job." So okay, there was a lot of things about it that I made it work, and I'm a product of that. And I love living in hindsight, being raised rurally. Like I played in the woods and hung out with my dogs and had gardens and things that people here don't really do so much. So my upbringing helped form me, but when I got here and like the attitude was so laid back and it was just like, enjoy being outside today, enjoy this sunset, enjoy spending time together. And maybe tomorrow I'll flake out on you. But like today we're here just like enjoying this. And I could really relate to that part, not the flaky part. I still don't like that part, but
Yes.
it's just like I love being outside. I love being in the sun. It never gets old. I don't need 4 seasons. I have no reason to leave San Diego.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I could keep going. I mean, when we get on a roll, we always ask the question. So you
I
let me
know.
know.
Well, I have a question about mindset while we're here. Well, two questions about mindset because I relate to that. Growing up in Ohio, I love Ohio. I love my family and friends there, but I always had a different mindset than everybody else. And it wasn't that any were better or worse. I was just always different. And I guess black sheep is a good way to say it. But like, yeah, I was just different. And when I came out to San Diego, I felt like I was with my people. I was like, oh, everybody here likes to rhyme and they want to say weird things and they want to be in awe of the greenery and they love the sun and they want to be outside. So I totally relate to that. In a mindset world, you've been quoted before saying that through research, high level achievers push themselves beyond their comfort zone and then they just keep moving the bar of comfort. What are some things over this career that you've been doing that are beyond your comfort zone that became comfortable?
Yeah. So I learned that first lesson in roller derby. I mean, I learned so many life lessons from playing roller derby because it's so, in the beginning, it's outside your comfort zone to even show up at a practice. You're like freaking out just to be there. And then eventually you're like, okay, I'm here. This is normal. Okay. And now you have to step up and go. There's all these things that you learn. And as things get easier, if you don't say, okay, I'm going to try a little more, you don't get to grow. Right. And so I learned that from Derby and I applied it right away to what I do in business. I didn't sign up to be an entrepreneur. I didn't sign up to be a business owner. I was trying to find a place for my roller derby team to practice. Right. And then kind of fell into this. So right away I was uncomfortable. Like, okay, I'm working with brokers. And, I always feel like I'm playing like, oh, I'm playing business lady because to me, I'm totally faking it. But to them, I'm not faking it. You're just doing it, right? And so I'm a real estate developer. No, I developed a property. I'm actually a real estate developer. But it all feels kind of fake until you do it, and then you did it. And I mean, now I'm considering another location, and we would have to develop that location, and that doesn't seem daunting at all because I know exactly what to do. Like so everything is scary the first time you do it. And then you've done it before and you can kind of build and grow and confidence builds off itself. So once you're like, hey, I can do stuff I don't know how to do, even if I'm fumbling my way through it, because to everyone else, you're just doing it. It doesn't look like you don't know how to do it. And like the best example I can give of that is parenting. I don't know if you guys are parents, but when you have a baby, okay? And like one day you have no baby, and the next day you have a baby. And you're like, I'm somebody's parent. And for like at least a month, you're like fake parenting. You're like, what would a parent do right now? Right? But to literally no one, you're fake parenting. To everyone, you're a parent. And so I feel like in business, that has happened to me repeatedly, where you have this like imposter syndrome because you don't feel like you know what you're doing or that you belong in the room or all of these other things, but you just do it anyway. You just do it scared. You just do it uncomfortable. You just like slap it on and just do it and power through it. And then the next time is easier. The next thing is easier. Like I said, I'm ready. I'll develop one more place. I might develop 5 more places. I'm not scared, but it was terrifying to build out that first place. I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen. I don't even know what steps. I don't even know where you start. There's not like a book on where you start. You just start like wherever you're standing, and then the next conversation you have is going to build it.
Start where you're standing. I love that quote. That's beautiful.
How did you develop such a strong and a growth mindset? What steps do you have to do to get there?
So it wasn't always like that.
Yeah, that's why I asked. That's why I asked.
You know, so some of it I think is a product of age. So a lot of times people talk about aging like it's a bad thing. You know, I'm 46 years old. I would not cut off, you know, I would cut off a limb, then be 26 again. You know nothing. You know nothing. You have no experience. You don't really, I mean, maybe some people have this skill set early on, but most people don't know how to be self-reflective. They don't know how to be empathetic. All of those things get you so far, both with yourself and with other people, right? Like people want to talk to people that are listening to them, that are understanding them, that are trying to find common ground with them. And again, these are skills I learned from playing roller derby, right? There's all these really powerhouse personalities all thrown together, and we all want to play. We want to play, we want to win, we want to be happy. We don't want to have like crazy friction. And so you have to learn conflict resolution, leadership, all of these things, how to also be a follower when it's your time to be a follower, when you need to be there's just like so much learning that needs to happen. And then now, because I'm trying to really grow my business and like what mark that's left in the community from all of this, I have to learn rapidly. You know, I don't have an MBA. I didn't go to school for marketing. I don't have any of these things. And so I'm like taking myself to like Audible University nonstop. So I binge on topics. So I'll read like 5 or 6 books on a topic, Audible books. I walk. I just like powerhouse walk with my dog for like 2 hours every morning, and I just blow through books. So I'll take myself to marketing university and I'll just read like 6 of the most, you know, prominent modern techniques on what's going on with marketing your brand. Okay, cool. I'm done with that. Okay, then I'm going to go into like an abundance. Then I'm going to go into like some woo-woo stuff for a little while because that was too tangible. Okay, then I'm going to go into like wealth and prosperity. Okay, then I'm going to come back to who I am. So I'm always learning and trying to pull the nuggets that work for me so that I can scale and grow faster than really probably what's appropriate for this time, because the beginning was so slow for me. Because the beginning, I just like wasn't a businesswoman. I wasn't trying to build something. I was just trying to survive. And now I want to build an empire. That's where I'm at now.
Speaking of books, then I'll get to you, Mandy. What's like the 3 books that have made the most impact on you so far throughout your Audible University experience?
Okay, I have a few. Story Brand was such a good one for brand and marketing. A lot of times the books I read were actually just, yay! I love that book. I love that book. That's so funny. You just whip it up. That one was so great for me because it reinforced a lot of my beliefs, but in a way that I didn't realize that's what I was doing. And so when it really spelled out how the story brand worked, and I'm going, oh, like I'm hitting like 2/3 of that right now. What can I do if I add the rest of that puzzle? What if I really intentionally use that language instead of accidentally use that language? It's been super helpful, gives you so much direction, because sometimes for me, being engaged online, the pictures and the video are easy. The word part is hard for me. And so it gives me the language, like, well, what is the story? And like, how are you their skate bestie? You know, I'm always like, I'm your skate bestie. I want you to win the day. And that's what we do at our events, right? When someone's at an event with us, like they're the freaking hero. They brought their team here. They had the coolest day ever. It was like so authentic and so special. And that person gets to be like the big hero of it. And like, I'm there to support them have that like really big win and like a special moment with their team.
Okay, so Story Brand is one. What are a couple others?
Story Brand. Scaling Up is another one. I don't know if you guys know anything about Entrepreneurs.org. I'm a part of that group, and that's one of the like kind of pillars. Scaling Up and Traction are both ones that really help you look at execution, cash, strategy, your people. Those are kind of the pillar of how you grow. And if one of those is all messed up, it makes it pretty difficult. And before a year or 2 ago, like none of this was in my ears or on my tongue. You know, it was just like, get the rent paid, get payroll paid, scrap for another month and see what we can make happen. There just was not a lot of strategic planning because I just didn't even have the language. I didn't even know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
So there was that one. And then Okay, and then a fun one for like abundance and wealth is "You Are a Badass." I
Oh
can't
yeah,
remember the name of the author, but that was
Jen
just
Sincero. Jen
yes,
Sincero. Yeah. Hmm.
yes. And that's just a fun one to pump you up. Like she's really just like, listen, the universe is a puppy that wants to go fetch that ball for you. It just wants to make you happy, and you totally deserve that. So tell it exactly what you want and let it bring it to you. Like, you are such a badass. You deserve everything that's coming to you. So just like put it out there and just attract it, like bring it to you. So that was a
Yes.
good one just to like pump me up.
Love it. Mandy, go
I'm
ahead.
pu-
Jeffrey?
I'm
Go
pumped
ahead.
up. I'm
Go
pumped
ahead,
up.
Mandy.
Like I'm trying to be quiet because Neely, you're saying so many awesome quotes. I'm like, I'm trying to be quiet so our podcast manager can like capture your quotes for video clips because I don't want to interrupt because it's so damn good. It's just so good. I want to make
I
sure we
think
give you
there's a
these.
recording.
I
They have like
know.
rewind
I
now and
know.
everything.
I'm trying to not talk through it because sometimes when guests say something awesome, you can hear me be like, "Oh, ooh."
It's okay, Mandy.
I'm like
Just
holding my breath.
just be
Anyways,
you. Be you. Go
yes, it's
ahead.
so good. Okay, while we're talking about growth and the growth of your business, like your business is a mix of groups, private, public, open skate memberships. What's an area of your business that you want to grow, that you see potential, but you want to grow, that you're not currently growing?
Well, Mandy, that's how you and I met. So in the beginning, we were really focused in roller derby, right? And then came public skate. And then right behind public skate, everyone wanted to have birthday parties. So those were the first few kind of programming we offered that happened really organically right off the bat. But then we started moving toward from birthday parties, which is more like 7 to 30 people. We started moving to large group and private rental. So heading toward folks like sororities naturally gravitated to us. We'd have like 250 sorority girls out for their bid night or their like big sister, little sister events, stuff like that. And those were so great for them and for us. And so we started looking at like, okay, this is good. How do we bring in big groups where we can do for them and they can do for us? Because anytime one person pays for the entire rink, that's a winner, right? That's
Mhm.
one client that we can make really happy and one set of money we're chasing down, one point that we're marketing to, all of that. And so that's when we really started working toward group sale. And so I do a lot of different stuff with group sale. And for most FECs, that's family entertainment centers. And that's what a roller rink would be considered. That is like where like about a third, right? Like a big chunk of stuff comes in all on group sales. So then we started heading more toward hosting holiday parties, corporate employee appreciation days, like company picnic type things. And it kind of grew from there. And so that's when I said, like, I need to be in the space where the people
Mhm.
are throwing these parties because they want to know about me and I want to meet them. We're not a perfect fit for everybody, but for the people that
Yeah.
are like, we want to be outside, we want to do something active, we want something different, we want really cute photos. We have employees that span young to old, all different ethnicities. We want like a lot of people to feel comfortable, happy, and have a great time. We can really meet that. And a lot of younger people do not want to go to drinking events anymore.
They
Yeah.
They
don't.
don't
You're
they
totally
don't want to
right.
go to bars, they don't want
Yep.
to go to happy hours. Some folks still enjoy having a drink, but that can't be the activity. You didn't wow them with one nice cocktail. They want to have a chance to connect with the people around them, to have a new experience, to feel filled up with some joy and some endorphins and some connection and like those natural drugs that make us feel really good. So I went on a tangent, but
I love
we're
it.
really moving more toward like corporate and adult groups and trying to find the people that are trying to find us.
I
People that
mean,
are trying to find active. A lot of people want to go somewhere local, somewhere minority owned. Like we can check all your boxes.
yeah.
So we need to find them so they can find us.
Are you connected with Fit City Adventures?
That's every single person is like, do you know Angela?
Yeah, but she's
I
an
just saw
EO
her the other
too.
day.
She's an EO. Are you in the same EO group? I don't know. We could talk about that offline. But
Saw
like,
her at an MPI event the other day.
yeah. So like that's exactly. And Angela's a former guest of ours too. She does that. I want to play devil's advocate for a second because I'm thinking of corporate events. I think of like there is no better sweat working, right, than roller skating. But then I'm also thinking of the limitations. So, for example, I love roller skating. I just can't anymore because I have a knee injury. there's a lot of other things I can do, but I tried roller skating for one of my girlfriend's birthdays 4 years ago, and my legs were like shaking in the thing, which I was super bummed about because I wanted to do it. So I want to play devil's advocate for a second. Like, I'm doing a corporate event for 300 people, and I don't want to make anybody feel excluded, but I want to provide something fun. I want to give them an experience. And I know most people will roller skate. I'm sure there's other things people can do while other people are roller skating. Like, how do you incorporate the non-roller skaters at an event?
Yeah. And that's a super, super common question.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-acre facility, and it's not all a roller rink. So we have an arcade. Lots of people put arcade free play on their package.
Fun.
Super fun way. All of our games are multiplayer on purpose. So there's like 4-man Pac-Man battle and 4-man Ninja Turtles. We have beer and wine also, so you can sit down and have a drink. We have a photo booth where we do a whole branded strips or 4x6s with you. We have little photo areas everywhere. We have this big set of bleachers right on the side of the rink. And I would say at corporates, maybe half the people skate. It's super common not to skate.
Yeah.
You know, they're there to just do the mingling they said they were going to do, but we'll do a performance for them. Like, you can hire the skate team, and the skate team will get out there and do some like 90s, a whole thing for them. We'll have a live DJ on the scene. So think about it this way. When someone's like, well, we'll just do it in this ballroom terrace, we'll have this, you know, meet and greet party for 2 hours. But what are they doing? Like, literally nothing. Like, just the food or beverage that's there. Well, we have food and beverage too, and arcade and music and energy and performance and photos and giant lawn games. It's like a whole nother kind of experience, whether you choose to interact with the roller skating or not. Like, I've seen mechanical bulls at plenty of things, and that only one person at the whole party ever got on the dang bull.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point, because I think about dodgeball. Like, our HPN Global, we have our annual partner meeting, and not everybody plays dodgeball, but everybody watches it. Everybody gets a drink at the bar. Everyone said, yeah. So it's a part of the spectacle. It's one of the tools, but it's a unique experience. And anytime you can bring childhood experiences out and people like bring the kid out, I think is always super fun. I think that's very impactful and memorable.
Yeah, and I mean, in the more like company picnic type situations, I also love seeing people with their kids or their partners. You know, that's not for every work environment, but when it's appropriate, it is like such a humanizing thing to see all the people you work with in a professional setting with people they love. It's just, it's really different. And I love getting to meet people's partners, people's kids. You just like get such an insight into who they are. So it's a fun place to bring like a wide range of people to just like get them engaging with each other.
Love that.
Now, we've come to the point in the show where we have to flip the script and we let you ask both myself and Mandy a question. So I want to ask you, who do you want to ask the question to first, and what is said question?
Okay. Well, let's start with Mandy mentioned roller skating and kids. So let's go with your money. What is your first memory related to roller skating?
That's so fun.
So I grew up in the DC area, so East Coast as well. And there was this party there. We used to have a roller skating rink around us called Wheel a While. It was in Rockville, Maryland. And I remember going there for a birthday party for a girl I had a crush on. And I tried to get out there on the roller skating rink, and I did not do well. I fell and just did not do well at all. So it was really embarrassing. But I do remember that the DJ there was really good and just playing the good music. And he's playing music that you wouldn't normally hear on the radio too. It was like kind of the up tempo, because you play up tempo, and then they have like couple skate where then he plays a slow jam. I love slow jams. So that's my first memory of roller skating.
I love that, and you would be surprised how many people have a very, very similar first memory. I love that, like, a girl and the DJ and falling is all at the core.
Yeah, that's at the core. That's at the core. Story of my life. That's at the core.
Oh, Amani, slow jams and a girl and a mixtape and a DJ. It's all at your core.
Yeah,
It is.
I love it.
Is.
Yeah, that is me. I have no qualms.
Okay, Ms. Manny, let's do a professional question. So you meet tons and tons of business owners. What do you think is the difference between those who are just surviving and those who are thriving?
I love this question. I could go on for about an hour. So a couple things. Business owners that spend equal parts of time in their business and out of their business it's the key to victory. I think so many business owners are like what you said. They're in their business. They're trying to scrap together payroll. They're trying to scrap together rent, but they think they do not have time to invest in themselves or invest in their best future business self. And as soon as you make that change, as soon as you make that moment of like, I can be a developer of multiple roller rinks. Like I am a developer. As soon as you make that time, you invest that time. Like Friday afternoons, I'm going to dedicate just to reading. I'm going to dedicate to reading and looking what's next in our industry. Or, let's say you take 2 days for yourself in 2026 in the first quarter just to invest in yourself and your personal growth, your emotional, spiritual, financial, business growth. Like the business owners that actually invest in themselves first and realize that like you don't have to just constantly be wearing a seatbelt, going meeting to meeting or call to call or paycheck to paycheck. That's the big difference, I think. And the second thing is entrepreneurs that make sales a priority and not just selling. Like you have to make time for all steps of selling. Most entrepreneurs are petrified of selling, which is hilarious to me because if you're an entrepreneur, you're so passionate about one thing, right? And the best way to sell something is through passion and energy and enthusiasm that you don't realize you're already selling just by talking about whatever that widget or service or product it is that you have. So you're already selling. So you might as well get like technically good at it. So the entrepreneurs that are afraid of selling, they hide under the blanket with selling, they don't make time for selling. There's a huge difference between them and the entrepreneurs that actually embrace selling. And I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, I hate selling. That's fine. Like go hire somebody to do your sales for you and you just be your own COO. All of that's fine. But I think like the investing the time to be out of the business and in the business equally, and then embracing selling are like really the two big differences, I think.
Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I will add a tiny bit on the end of that. I am one of those entrepreneurs that's petrified and hates selling and is making it a priority. So I have 2 more books to recommend.
Oh, let's hear it.
Fanatical Prospecting and Super Communicators. Both of them were recommended to me by an absolute sales guru and have plowed through both of them. And there's so much good stuff in there.
I love that. I haven't heard of Fanatical Prospecting. I love prospecting. I haven't heard of that yet. I'm going to write that down. That's awesome.
I'm working on loving it.
Oh,
I'm trying really hard to
your teeth all grit like together.
How would you answer the same question you just asked Mandy?
Okay, so a lot of times I get contacted by people who are like, I have a dream of opening a roller rink. Tell me how. And I'm like, wow, there's really just one question. How crazy are you? Like really, really that crazy? Would you say that about yourself? Because if you would, then I can have the next conversation with you. But if you wouldn't call yourself like 10 shades of out there, it's never going to happen. It's just, you get so much no, things are not going to work out. You're not going to have enough money. People are going to treat you badly. You're going to get ignored in the room. All these things are going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. So you have to be just incredibly tenacious because there are plenty of people that have good ideas or access to money and they don't make it. And it's because they just can't keep going. You know, and like the people that we see out there that look really successful to us have poured so much time, so much money, had so many losses that you don't know about. And those losses hurt. I mean, like they just, and you just get up and you got to go again. And you put on a face like everything is great and you just go. So to me, I would say tenacity. And some business owners I meet, I can smell it on them right away. Like, I don't know what you're going to do, but you definitely have it in you. And there are some where I'm like, you know, if the first 1 or 2 things are already tripping you up, this is as easy as it gets. It's only getting harder every single day.
Yeah. I want to talk about oh, sorry. Oh, you go, Amani.
Don't forget your question. Mine's quick.
Okay.
What revenue stream, we like to call them revenue fountains, actually, because fountains never end. but we'll say what revenue fountain
Geyser.
from yes,
Totally.
there you go. There you go. From your business surprised you at the level it picked up at? Like, what's the revenue source that really surprised you weren't expecting?
Field trips. Field
Ah,
trips. So in the old days, like in the 80s, all kids went on a field trip to the roller rink. It was like a very normal thing to do. And then eventually, through state standards and money and all this stuff, you couldn't go on field trips that didn't align with like classroom standards anymore. But something there's a lot of money for is STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. And so this roller rink group, I think they're in like Ohio. They're called United Skates of America, and
That's
they
where
have a,
I went.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, United States
So
of America.
they
That
have
was
a
my,
big
yeah.
organization. So they
Mhm.
have a big staff, they have a big marketing, they have a lot of people working there. And they came up with this idea to do these STEM field trips where they would teach lessons that play around with roller skating, whether it be like friction, speed, all this stuff. And
ooh,
so I did a year of their program and learned a lot about what they were doing and kind of took it and ran with it on our own at home and started this STEM program. And so people have money and energy and excitement to go on a STEM field trip. So they come to us for 3 hours. They do a 1 hour STEM lesson, and then they do 2 hours of roller skating, lunch, hanging out, using the arcade, snack bar, whatever they want. And a lot of them, it's their first roller skating
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Like there's a bazillion fifth graders that had never roller skated until they came to my place. And it's the best. It's the
yeah.
absolute best. Now, it's one of the cheapest things that we offer. So this is a volume game. A corporate event pays 5 times what a field trip of the same number of kids is. But like, talk about impact. It's so cool. I love it. So we try to book one like every day of the week, the whole school year.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's been something that's actually fun to sell because I love the program so much. The only thing I really want to work on is finding some more money to fund some of the Title One. We get a lot of
Mm,
outreach from Title
yeah.
One that says, I know it's an affordable price point, but it's still too expensive for us.
Yeah.
Do you have anything? And I'm like, well, I can't pay for it, but I would love to find someone who can. If we could get Brona or Saquon or someone who's always trying to do something in the community here to get behind funding some of the Title One programs so that we can get more kids in here. That would be my goal. But yeah,
Okay.
field
Great.
trips were definitely a huge surprise. Once
Yeah.
that it just shot off.
Yeah. Okay, Mandy, you were asking a question about creative something.
I was. I love the idea. I always love the idea of teaching kids something early that you're creating these core memories that they're going to replicate over and over at different parts of their life as they age, right? So I love that it's like, this is what we're doing with 10-year-olds. This is a fifth grader. And then they're going to come back in junior high and high school and prom and sorority and when they're corporate planner and all. Like, it's just something that can be used in different parts of life. So I love that idea. Okay, going back to creativity, I noticed on your website you have your own gifts from Giphy, and you suggest that people download them as stickers. So Amani and I are huge proponents of using gifts for promotion. People think we are nuts when we say this, and my gifts have like 11 million views. Like, I don't think there's any better thing for the bang for your buck for the amount of money you pay for that versus like the level of impressions. So how often are people using your gift stickers from your website?
Okay,
First
so you're like
question.
literally the only person since the first week we made them that has brought it up. Like
Really?
no one ever brings it up. No one ever
Are
like
people using them?
when
Have
I
you checked your Giphy
when I
account?
first came
Oh,
out with them, because I love like brand imagery. So as we
yeah.
Yeah.
were building the brand, I just wanted more in our
Yeah.
color, more in our thing. And like speaking of images with AI in the talk before I was on here, I make some of the coolest stuff on there now where I take some of our brand imagery and I have it help me turn it into a prototype for a stuffy, and a walking, talking cartoon and all this stuff that would be outside my skill set. I can take it into Photoshop and tweak it, but it really is so cool. Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
so I was getting into how we can add more brand design. I've always been very active on Instagram. I was like, oh, I want my brand stickers. And so I just learned how to make them. I
Yeah.
started uploading them and then I started using them and people were like, oh my God, where did you get that? Who made that for you? And I was like, I just made it myself. You
Yeah.
can make one too. They're
Yeah.
free. They're easy. So I I don't know how often they're used. That's actually not something I've ever looked at or tracked.
Okay, I'll show you. So you can go on Giphy.com, GAPHY, and
Yeah.
go on info, and it'll tell you how many views your stickers have since like inception. But Maya and I use them actually on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever to in the comments. So when
Yeah.
people
Mm.
like when people say something, you can use it as a comment to like keep your brand image like going. And I'm a big fan of gifts, so I saw that I got excited. And like what made you, I guess, decide to use them was like you just wanted to do more and more branding with it. And
Well, right. And so, like, I share a lot of stories. When you share a
yeah,
story, you're putting things on there and writing,
yeah,
or you're trying to, there's more available now. But, like 6 years ago, you were pressing the space bar a bunch of times with a period at the end to try to get a bar the way you liked it. So if you just make your own stuff you want on there, you don't have
yeah,
to do that. So I
Yeah.
was just making stuff that I could put on, hey, Friday night skate night, and it's your birthday, and all this stuff we were posting anyways that I was using words for. It just made my own stickers for it.
Yeah.
But now that you're saying it, totally makes me want to make some time to
Yeah.
make some more.
You should.
yeah. I'll
You
send
should.
you. We'll send you our gifts. You can see.
You know you've arrived with your Giphy when someone, your friend, whom you might not have talked to for 10 years, says, "Hey, is this you?" And they've like cut and paste a gift that someone else has put up of you, and that's crazy, and that's happened. So yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. I like you.
Now,
So unrelated to gifts, I had a moment where someone found something old of me on the internet and shared it with me the other day. And I was going to share it on LinkedIn this week, but I'll tell you guys what it is if you want to know.
go
Yes.
ahead.
So
Yes.
I've done tons of press. I've done all kinds of stuff that I never talk about. I don't know why. It's stuff I used to do. And do you know who Mike Rowe is? Who used to do the show Dirty Jobs, and then he did a show called Somebody's Got to Do It on CNN.
No.
Okay, well, he used to be very well known, but you guys live under a rock. Anyways, he did a TV show with us, and he came out to the dollhouse, played roller derby with us, did a 20-minute segment on roller derby and what we were doing at Derby Dolls on CNN like 10 or 15 years ago. And somebody just found it on YouTube the other day and was like, it's not you. And I was like, yes, it is.
Okay. Wow.
So I'm going to
That's
share it on my
fun.
LinkedIn this week. So if you want to see it, it'll be on there.
You should definitely share it. I'll comment with a GIF.
Yes. Yes. There you go.
Please,
Yes. There you go.
please.
I will.
That's there. So I'm curious though, like if we were to come and visit you, and I'm looking up something right now, so hold on. If we were to come visit you, like in Boston, that one time when you were leaving a semester early. So you were graduating, but you left a semester early, and we're going to talk to that version of Nili, giving her advice based on everything you've learned since you left. What advice would you give your younger self?
Um, you're doing just fine. You're going to figure it all out. Like you really don't have the answers then, and you can't. So just do it. Do the next thing that feels right. Try the next thing that feels right. It's not going to work out perfectly. Just keep going. Just keep trying the next thing. Don't give up on it. Because I think sometimes when you're young, it feels like, you get out of college. I was one of those age groups. Like got out in 03. No one was getting jobs.
Yeah.
And so it felt really hopeless. Everyone was just like waiting tables, which is what you did in college. But now you have college loans and you're supposed to be an adult and there's nothing to do. And so a lot of people, I felt like in my generation, we were like the tail end of the Gen Xers, kind of stumbled unless you were in those fields like the engineering and the nursing. And so I stumbled for a long time. It took a while to find something that I got excited about. And then I ended up kind of leaving my first career, which helped me so much in my second career. I mean, my first career was in video production. And then as soon as people got into Instagram, it was easy for me to share and grow a following and tell a story. So in that way, that all worked out. And I use it all the time in my business now.
Yeah,
All
give
right.
us your Instagram because your Instagram is really, really fun. Tell everybody what your Instagram handle is.
So I'm roller.ringer, and on there you'll see like all my travels. I've traveled all over the world to skate. So I'll skate at the Eiffel Tower and in Barcelona and all kinds of cool places through airports. Pictures of me with my family. And then Ringers Roller Rink, just all one word, is where you'll find the Rink page, and you'll see tons of cool events. We have so much fun, from regular public skate nights to corporate outings to Labubu night and Taylor Swift and all kinds of fun stuff. So
I love it. Well, I mean, aside from following you, which everybody should, because it is fun. It's like pure joy following you on Instagram. What is a way we can support you and lift you up? You've just given us an hour of your time. you've supported our show. How can we continue to support you and lift you up?
Next time you hear a conversation where someone's saying, I really just want to do something different. I want to do something outside the box with these folks. We can't just do the same old thing. Then you can be like, I would love to put you in touch with a friend of mine. I'm not sure if it's a great fit, but maybe it is.
Love
Deal.
it. I love
Deal.
it. Done.
All right. We are going to first say thank you again. We're going to put you back in the green room really quickly. But first, a round of applause for Nili the Ringer. Here we go. Round of applause.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute joy.
Thanks for
Awesome.
being here. I'm fired up. Thank
Yeah.
you for being here.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, Mandy, we are done. Another great episode. Who do we have to look forward to next week?
We have your friend Danielle, our new friend Danielle.
Our new friend Danielle Sweeney is going to talk to us about her speakers bureau and the speaking world, and kind of how she's targeting people between $10,000 and under, which is a really important market. So we're going to talk to Danielle about that. She's coming to us from Toronto, so that will be very interesting.
Amazing.
Now, please make sure you rate, review, and share the episode, whether you're watching or listening on the platform that you're doing that on. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, join our mailing list. And thanks again to our guest today, Nili. And we will see everyone next week for another episode of Adventures in Business Live. Bye, everyone.
Bye.